Markets with David Modell.
Welcome to Looking at the Markets with David Modell. Today my very special guest is Mr. Enrico Hrcak. Mr. Hrcak is the CEO of Fincana Capital Corp. So Mr. Hrcak, welcome to Looking at the Markets, sir.
David, thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. I've got so much to ask you about the cannabis industry, about what's going on in California and elsewhere. So let's jump into it, if that's okay with you. I'd like to start with there's something called royalty companies. And it's something I'm learning about, and I've heard that they're really profitable for investors if they do it in the right way. So can you tell us about royalty companies, what they are, and why they're so profitable? What's the secret?
Sure, David. So what a royalty company is, so basically we invest in companies, provide them permanent capital. In exchange, we receive a percentage of revenues going forward and generally in perpetuity. From these companies. And we find that the royalty model is a perfect type of financing for companies in the medical cannabis sector in the U.S. right now. And that's because capital is very scarce. Debt is largely unavailable. Equity for startup companies can be very expensive from dilution. And let's face it, in California, almost all companies now are startup companies because they just legalized on January 1st. So what we do is we provide financing that really aligns the economic interests of the companies that we invest in. There's not strict repayment terms like you would on typical debt, and the owners get to keep their equity. So as the companies grow and they're profitable, then we share in the success with those partners of ours.
Well, that sounds really exciting. Now, I wanted to shift over to the cannabis industry. So many of my audience members are interested as investors and traders. Now, I know we cannot make predictions here, but as you see it, do you think it's likely that federal legality could be a few years away, or how do you see the timeline working out for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball on that, but what I do know is that there has been polls that show that 94% of Americans are in favor of medical cannabis. There was a Gallup poll that was issued or conducted in October of 2017, showing that 64% of Americans are in favor of legalization of cannabis in the U.S. We've now got 29 states plus Washington, D.C. that have legalized medical cannabis. And these are the big states. You got California, which is, the largest state in North America and the largest market. And in fact, California was the first state to legalize medical cannabis almost 22 years ago. So there is a long history there. And it looks like the states are moving forward. It'll be a question of if and when the U.S. government comes on board from a federal level. But you've got the state of California and the government of California. They are now in that business. They've recently issued some cease and desist orders for companies that were operating not legally under the California law. They're collecting tax revenue, so they're very much in that business now.
Now, what I wanted to know next was about your company, Fincana Capital Corp. Is it true that Fincana is one of the first movers in the California market as a royalty company?
Yeah, great question. So there are a few other companies that are financing in California, publicly traded companies. Because California just went legal on January 1st, everyone in the industry is relatively new at it. We certainly are one of the few royalty companies and pure royalty companies that are operating in the U.S. with a focus on California.
Gotcha. Okay. And as we get into the Fincana topic, I wanted to mention to people that there is a free report that they really need to check out, and it is from wealthresearchgroup.com. It is www.wealthresearchgroup.com/cannabis. And this is a free report, so go ahead and click on that. The link to that free report is below this video in the description. It's a corporate overview of the company, Fincana. which FinCan is, it's a very exciting opportunity, I think. And I want the people to know that this report is the most comprehensive research online on this company that I've ever encountered, and it covers the company in depth more than any interview can. So I just wanted to point that out. I hope people will certainly check that out. Now, I wanted to ask about also the cannabis market and how FinCana relates to it. Right now, how hot is the cannabis market in California?
So California is the largest market in North America. California, in fact, was the first state to legalize medical cannabis almost 22 years ago. The market is big. It's projected in 2018 by ArcView to be, over $4 billion. With the new laws that came into effect January 1st that are governing both medical and the adult use, you've now got the government is in business. They're going to make sure that the companies that are operating legally according to state laws, and they will be collecting tax revenue. So you've now got the California government in the business of cannabis. And it's the largest market in North America. You cannot export cannabis between states, so each market is a closed market. And once again, California is the biggest.
Yep. Now, as far as FinCana, I know that it is a developing company. How many employees does FinCana have? And can you tell me about some of the key people at FinCana?
Sure. So, once again, the nice thing about royalty companies is that you relatively have fewer employees than you would in a large operating company. So your G&A cost would be lower than a large operating company. At FinCana, myself as the CEO, Rob Scott, who's also 20 plus years as a finance professional. He is the CFO and also has significant experience in merchant banking, which is proving to be very valuable as we build our portfolio of diversified companies in the sector. We've got some support staff, but most importantly, we've got a very, very experienced and deep-rooted team of advisors and directors, particularly in the U.S. and California, that are helping identify new projects and new companies as we build out our portfolio of royalty investments.
Absolutely. And by the way, for investors, if they want to check out FinCana Capital's website, they should go to fincanacapital.com. And you could either type that into your browser, or you could just click on the link below this video. And after you've checked out Wealth Research Group's report, then you want to check out fincanacapital.com. You can click on those links below this video. And by the way, the ticker symbols for FinCana Capital, for investors, on the CSE exchange in Canada, it is ticker symbol CALI, Cali, easy to remember. And in the United States, it is FNNZF. All right, so I wanted to talk about the milestones for FinCana Capital. Can you tell me about some of the upcoming milestones for the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So we went public end of December of 2017, and our first investment, which is a large facility to be built in Coachella by a very experienced team in California. We improved the deal both for that company, which is called Cultivation Technologies Inc., or CTI for short,
right,
and for ourselves. And then in February, we announced two more deals. One is a software compliance company, and the second one is an extraction company based out of Oakland. And both very exciting deals. We see with potential for big scale here, and great management teams. We've got a very robust pipeline of other deals that are in the cannabis sector, but not just cultivation or extraction. There's a lot of other verticals involved in the sector, and our goal is to invest in what we believe are the top companies in each of those verticals that have the best opportunity to grow. And as they grow, we grow with them. And that's the beauty of the royalty model, is that it's good capital for companies that want to grow. There's not strict payments like you would with debt. And as the companies grow and their revenues grow, our revenues grow as well. So it's a great fit. Economic interests are aligned between the two companies, and for success.
I think that Fincana Capital Corp is a great way for investors to get in on this exciting opportunity, not only in the California cannabis niche, but just to get in on cannabis in general. If you are a believer that there's growth, I know I believe that there's growth in California and worldwide, and what a great ground floor opportunity. Once again, for investors, it is FNNZF in the United States, the stock ticker symbol, and in Canada on the CSE exchange, it is CALI, easy to remember, CALI. The website for Fincana Capital is fincanacapital.com. Check out that link in the description of this video. And while you're checking out links in the description, you also want to check out the wealthresearchgroup.com free report. Why not click on that? Why not learn all about the cannabis industry in California and elsewhere, what's going on, and how to get involved? This is the most comprehensive research online on this company that I've encountered. It's free. It covers the company in depth, even more than this interview could possibly do. But I've really enjoyed this interview. So I've been speaking with the CEO of Fincana Capital Corp, Mr. Andrinko Hrchak. Thank you so much for joining me on Looking at the Markets. You're welcome back anytime, sir. Thank you so much.
David, thank you very much.